Ryan, first of all, thank you for joining us. I know at my end, I've had to put it back a few times and you've been really nice and we've rearranged. Finally, we're here, we can do it. So it's great to have a chat with you and see you as well. So thank you.
Pleasure. And thank you very much for having me and being a bit patient
Oh, no, it's
with
fine.
me.
It's fine. Like I say, that everything was at my end. I've had to I've got to email Ryan again and put it back. So it's great. I've been looking forward to this, especially after watching. Fried Barry watched it a few nights ago. So much to talk about. But before we do, I want to have a quick chat about you because I was looking at your IMDb the other day and looking at all the stuff that you've got. Could you tell the listeners and the viewers that are watching this on YouTube just a little bit about yourself and how you got into filmmaking?
So I've been doing film now for 22 years. I'm still young. I might look at her, young, but a little bit older. But I started film at a very early age. I got into acting first, and it's just that regular story where I got my first camera, and I started making all these short films with all my friends back in the day, and must have made about 200, 300 of them, but they were all terrible. But it was that whole thing. Just my childhood was very much like that movie Super 8. Where we would go out in the summer or the weekends, and we would make films. And then over the years, started doing acting, and then did quite a lot of stuff with acting, TV, and film. And then I went into directing, and I moved over to South Africa because originally I'm actually from Liverpool. Mm-hmm. So now, I've been in Cape Town, South Africa now for 11 years. So now I'm a Scouse African now. And and then when I got here, the first 2 years that I was here, I got my name out as a music video director. And it's for the past 11 years now, I've just been shooting a hell of a lot of music videos and became one of the top music video directors in South Africa, which was great. And then I just got to a point in my career where, for a while now, I've been wanting to make a feature. But I love doing music videos, and, I do my experimental films and stuff. I've been working on a project for like 4 years now for experimental films, which I'm going to release them all together. Mm-hmm. That's and as a director, but it's come to that point where I got to make a feature film, which I've been dying to do for a long time.
And it's been getting a lot of buzz, and rightly so. And I said there's so much to talk about, but again, before we get to that, your Scouse African accent is an awesome accent, because I can pick up both, because we're like about a 45-minute drive from Liverpool. In fact, we were up your neck of the woods the other day because you went to, I wrote it down to make sure I didn't forget, Aldershot School, didn't you? You did drama there. Yeah. We went to New Brighton just the other day, so we were just up at that end.
Okay. So where are you based? You're based in Manchester?
No, we're in North Wales, so we're about...
Oh, North Wales. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it feels like another lifetime ago now. So, but it was, Liverpool's great. Like, I love Liverpool, and I think Liverpool's a lot better than it was. Like, like it was back in the day. I think it's way more alternative now, and there's more. There's a mix of people now. There's a huge mix of, it's like a mini London, really, isn't it? It's just like a mix of everybody.
Yeah, and there's a lot to do there. There's so much to do in Liverpool. People, if they come to the UK, they always gravitate to London straight away, and they need to get to places like Liverpool because they're really good places to visit.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that I know here, when they say they're going to England, they mean they're going to London. Yeah. They just go to London. Yeah. They don't go anywhere else.
So Fried Barry, then, what was the genesis of Fried Barry for people that don't know? How did all of this begin?
So Fried Barry was originally a short film, a short experimental film. It was like a 3-minute experimental film about a drug addict that lives in an abandoned building. And we're watching him on his latest hits of drugs, and it's about his highs and his lows. No storyline. It was just very experimental, designed to make you feel uncomfortable. It was almost like a drug PSA, like don't do fucking drugs. After you watch it, which I'm sure a lot of people went, fuck that. I'm not going to do any drugs if I end up like this guy. And and then from that I took it to like a lot of festivals, and we had like 60 official selections around the world. We picked up 13 awards. We started getting fan art from like all over the world, which was like just nuts. It was just crazy. I mean, who does fan art for a short film? But the thing is with the short film, and we never ever planned to make a feature film out of it. It was always a standalone experimental film. It did well, and that was it. There was never an intention of making it, and there was no story to it. You know what I mean? It was just a guy off his head on drugs in the building. That was it. As time went on, for quite a while now, I've probably had about 5 or 6 opportunities to make a feature film where producers have spoken to me and they were like, "Oh, we want to make a film with you," and then it doesn't happen, and it like fades away, and that happened again and again. And by the 2 last times, I never even got excited because I'm just like, I know what normally happens, so it's just like whatever. And where I was at the time with my career, my personal life, I went through, like 3.5 years ago, something like that. Well, I think it's 4 years now. Yeah, I just went through a bit of a hectic, crazy time. I had something wrong with my kidney. Had an operation, got sepsis, nearly died. I went through a breakup. My cat had cancer. I went into depression, and I just went down this hole.
Yeah. Not surprising, huh, with all that going on now.
Yeah, it was just too much. It was just like way too much all at the same time. And it was and I've never been depressed in my life. So it just shows you it can fucking happen to anybody. And it really hit me hard. And it just gave me like a new appreciation for people that do have depression or whatever. And like, fuck, you need to reach out to those people. Because when I went through it, I had fucking nobody. I went back to England, and a lot of my friends and stuff, are here, in South Africa now because I've lived here so long, and a lot of my other friends have moved out of, Liverpool and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a very tough time. But when I went down this black hole, I just hit rock bottom, man. I was just like, what is at the top of my list to do in life? What have I always wanted to do? And it was to make a film. And I have all these other scripts that I could have wrote and could have done, but I was just and I was like, I've got the idea, it's perfect, and it's better than all the other scripts that I've got, and it's more original. And I just knew right there and then that this is the film that I should make. And there was no script whatsoever. So in 3 days, I wrote a 50% brief breakdown, which was just like, Barry does this, Barry does that, Barry goes there. And that's literally how brief it was. And then I wrote about 6 or 7 pieces of main dialogue for the movie as time went on. And once I got the idea, I rang my new producer that I've been working with, that I only knew for about a month and a half. And I said to him that I want to make a movie, and I want to make it next month. And he was like, well, why do you want to make it next month? And I was like, well, if we don't do it next month, it's never going to happen. It's just going to get pushed back. It's going to get prolonged, and it's just never going to happen. And he goes, well, have you got a budget? And I was like, well, I got money, and if you've got money, then we can together. And he goes, well, where's the script? And I was like, well, there is no script. He's like, well, why isn't there no script? And I was like, well, I've wrote a scene breakdown, and I'm going to develop it as we go, but I need to make this film a certain way because our lead actor isn't an actor. He's not a trained actor. So it was just like, I had to make this film in a certain way to make it work. And then I just said to him, well, you're either in or you're out. And I'm like, cool, I'm in. And a month later, we started shooting, and we shot over a year and a half. We shot 28 days in total. So it was like plan, shoot, plan, shoot. And the movie and the idea, everything developed as we went. And, 90% of the movie was improvised, but it wasn't like we rocked up on set and we didn't know what we were doing. We had the subjects and we knew what we wanted to happen in that scene. But then and that's why I wrote 6 or 7 pieces of main dialogue for the movie, as time went on. So it was about 90% improvised and workshopped on set with the actors. And then with Gary Green, the lead, he was the only one that didn't do the improv. So I had to, because he's not a trained actor and there was no script and I didn't want him to overthink everything. So I needed a clean slate, a clean page every single day. So he would listen to my direction and not think about anything else. Yeah. And that was it. It was just very, very structured. And that's why I built the movie around him. I built the movie around him to make it work, and that's why I said that this was the only way to make this movie.
And it's one of these films where you really can't see it with anybody else apart from Gary as the lead. You can't picture anybody else in it, can you? He is the focus of it, and he carries it, and your attention is just locked to him all the way through.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, even if I got the best actor in the country to do it, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as good. And that's why when I had the idea, because this is the thing, because he's not a trained actor, and when I was thinking about, which film I could do, and then when it came to me, I was just like, cool, I've got the idea. I know how I'm going to do it, and it's the only way how to do it. So, because if there was a script and there was dialogue or lots of dialogue from him, it wouldn't work. So that's why I based the character, and shaped it for him to actually make it work. Otherwise, it would just fall flat. It wouldn't have worked otherwise. So it was just perfect casting, perfect story, perfect character. And I think everybody's got that one film in them that is absolutely perfect for them. And this is it for Gary Green.
Yeah, definitely. I deliberately went into it knowing as little as possible. And to be perfectly honest with you, Ryan, I was expecting you on camera and a sound man with you. And I was like blown away with the way it looked, the way it sounded. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. It's like an assault on the senses visually and with audio as well. What was the crew that you had to work with? Because again, I was watching the end credits and it was like, oh my God, look at all these people that worked on it. But you can see because it looks and sounds so bloody awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I said the exact same thing, when the movie was finished. It was funny because, again, this is my first film. So, when we did the credits, I'm like, I was saying to my producer, this is like a proper movie. Look at all these credits. And I was very lucky to have, all these people that want to work with me and know that knows my work over here in South Africa. And so it was just, we had, I think we had like over 100 actors. We had people working in post and everything. So it was just an amazing, amazing cast and crew, and the people that I work with, and they're all amazing at what they do. Amazing at what they do. And so I always surround myself with people that I admire and like, and that are brilliant at what they do. And it's like, I love Fry Barry. It's my first movie and I love it. But it's one of those, is because it's not just my work. Mm-hmm. There's people that I admire, whether it's actors or Hazer that did the score, the music. I love all these guys. So to work with all these people and have them all together, and we were like 10 people short of, the top actors, or maybe less, top actors in South Africa. So we had like everybody in there. And it was so funny because Gary's background, he's an extra. He comes from an extra background. Mm. So now he's the lead. And now all these other famous people, they're all like really like small parts, in the movie. So it was awesome. It was awesome to see, to see that. But, and this is the thing with Fry Barry, it's about a heroin addict that gets abducted by aliens. They get spat back out. The alien's taken over his body and just takes him on a joyride to the dark side of Cape Town. And, I always say to people, it's like a road trip without the car. And Barry's the car, going through and meeting all these different people. And it's just, the more darker side of life. Like I've probably ruined like Cape Town tourism after this, like that, because people, I saw one interview people talking about, and they're like, fuck, if Cape Town's like that, like, I don't want to fucking go there. But Cape Town's really beautiful. It's a really nice place. And it's like anywhere in the world, you know, you get your dodgy areas and stuff like that, you know? So, yeah. And I just wanted to shoot, because we have we're more of a service country in South Africa. So we cater for a lot of the big American films and English films and TV series that get shot here. And they always so that Cape Town is always doubled for all these different locations around the world, because we have all these locations that will look like Mexico or will look like Arizona or whatever. So, you know, and for South African films, it's, you know, everybody always shows the beautiful side of like South Africa and all these locations. So I was just like, I want to show South Africa like how we've never seen it before. And saying that as well, the movies, like South Africa is quite conservative. So the movies that get made here are also normally like comedies, rom-coms, and some dramas and historic movies and apartheid movies. And it's starting to change, but that's what gets made here. So Fry Barry is literally the first of its kind to come out of South Africa, like without a doubt. Like it's like it's change in the industry in South Africa, and to be a part of that is amazing. That, you know, we're the first people to do something so out the box and such a genre type of movie. And it's not just a horror, and it's not just a sci-fi. It's a, you know, genre mash of stuff, and the content within it, with the nudity and the drugs and everything. It's completely, normally this type of thing is like frowned upon, and people don't make this type of content. So it's cool, and it's working. So
yeah, it is. And it all fits in with what you were saying about your experimental. You love playing with experimental style stuff. I mean, it fits in perfectly with that, and it all comes together and just works with it. So it must have been a joy for you to use that and your passion for experimental filmmaking to bung it all into a feature film.
Absolutely, and that's why. You know what? I could have picked any of these other scripts that I already had. Probably would have been way easier to shoot than Fry Barry. But as I said, where I was with the depression and everything, I needed something super creative to do, which you couldn't get more creative than this film, you know, to make it the way I've made it. So it's actually what I needed at the time to do something like, it's like I always say, you know, when you make a film, you know, it's such an understatement that obviously you make a film and you hope that it's going to be good. Your first film has to be the best thing that you've ever done. Otherwise, what's the point? Why are you doing it? So, and I think Fry Barry was definitely the right pick. And it was, you know, a different sort of film, and the feedback and everything and the reviews that we've been getting so far, and the people saying this is going to be a cult classic. Like, without a doubt, this is going to be around for a long time. So to hear reviews and everything is amazing. Is like amazing. I couldn't have got a better, you know, reception from all those people. And again, now with people starting to do more fan art, I mean, one guy the other day got a Fry Barry tattoo, and that's just like fucking nuts. Wow. That's just like next level shit. So
good.
That's pretty awesome. I think that's a huge. I mean, fan art is a huge compliment, definitely. But a tattoo is like next level shit. That he's always gonna have Fry Barry's face on his leg forever.
I love the fact that something so good and so positive came out of you at such a low point. I think it's a great thing to pass on to everybody, really, isn't it? That even at those lowest points, you don't know what's ahead of you.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, like, Fry Barry saved my life in so many ways. And it's funny how I kind of knew the answer all along. You know, I said I went through those 5-6 producers that approached me to do a film, and then it faded away. And I kind of knew all along that you just got to do it yourself. But it's funny how it nearly took me to die to realize that shit and go, fuck, what am I doing? And that's why when I approached my producer, James C. Williamson, it was like, I need to do it next month because I can't wait anymore. And it's one of those things. If you do day one, dude, you already started.
Yeah.
You're already started. So if you do day one, you're already on the go. Like there's no turning back. And I'll be honest, I didn't think it would take a year and a half to shoot, but it did. But again, it was the right concept to do because our main continuity of the movie was Barry, and he's everywhere he goes, he never goes back to. So everything's like kind of ongoing and new characters and new people. But we only brought back the sex worker and his wife, and that was it. So there was no other continuity in the movie because normally it's one of those things where with independent filmmaking and they make it every now and then, it's like, the one actress has cut her hair or dyed her hair, or they can't find the clothes that they had for continuity and all that. So the cool thing was the main continuity was Fry Barry himself and just those two characters for another 2 scenes that I put them in, and that was it.
There's even parallels between you and Peter Jackson with like his early filmmaking and taking years to do it, and then where you could be directing Star Wars in a few years from now. Who knows?
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Starring Fry Barry as well as a character.
Oh yeah,
a bounty.
You know what? There's a little bit in Fried Barry where he appears in an advert, and I watched it and I thought, I'd love to see some things, just adverts with Fried Barry in them. Come on. Just simple things like that. And actually...
Have you seen the marketing?
I've seen the marketing. Yeah, I've seen some of the marketing. Yeah, I have since I watched the film, yeah.
Yeah, because there's loads of, we've got the condom commercial that we did. We have like a tampon commercial coming out. We've got a cigarette commercial. There's a heartburn commercial. There's all these like random things that we do. I mean, even today we released a picture of Fry Barry for OnlyFans. So it's a picture of Fry Barry sitting there with the cucumber and all that. So the marketing for this movie has been great, and it's also created like a lot of buzz and stuff like that for festivals and stuff. So that's been awesome. And the thing with Fry Barry is there's no rules. Like you've seen the film, so you can't take the film seriously. It's just a wacky, crazy movie. So with this character, there's no rules. You can literally do anything with this character. And like normal films, it's everything set in stone, or you've got a trailer, you've got 2 posters. Marketing is just paid interviews or slots in magazines or billboards. So with Fry Barry, it's endless. You can just do anything with this character, which is awesome. I think, it's really helped like promote the film more,
Yeah. And saying that, and with all the hype that it's getting, and and the great word of mouth that it's been getting as well, has that already in your head thought somewhere that you can take the character again? We're going to see Fried Barry again.
Yeah, well, no, definitely. I mean, some people have, there's been quite a few people said to me, "You got to make a number 2. Like, you got to make a number 2."
There's so much.
And I was like, "Well, yeah." And it's funny because I mean, from now to the end of the year, it's the festival run, and then it only comes out next year. So only a certain amount of people have actually seen it.
Yeah.
So that's the cool and interesting thing. So when it hits major platforms next year, it's gonna be cool to see what happens. But I mean, I already got a film that I want to make next year. But I mean, if we're gonna make another Fry Barry, it'll be in like a few years. It's one of those, like, leave it as it is, or make it more. It's one of those,
And I should imagine as well, you'd be getting, because of all of everything that's going on with Fried Barry, you'd get a lot of interest from a load of other places coming in as well. So it must be such a crazy time for you.
Yeah, I mean, we had the world premiere at CineQuest in San Jose in America in March, and it was like a week before like lockdown. So it was quite nuts because when that was happening, I thought, oh fuck, this is gonna ruin everything for the movie. This is gonna ruin all the festival runs and like just need to make my first film, and this shit happens. And you know what? It's actually been a blessing in disguise, like big time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're looking at 250 to 300 people in a normal festival movie screening.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with the pandemic in certain places, like over here, for example, it's 50 people per screening. That's it, you know. But I check in France and Germany when Fry Barry's played, like over the last like 2 weeks, it's literally been like they've had hundreds of people there. They're like they don't seem too asked about it, which is great. So more people watch the film. But the great thing, what has happened is this online, you know, all the festivals have. A lot of the festivals have gone online. Some are still doing physical festivals, but some of the big ones have just gone online. And, you know, we just played Fantasia. And I mean, Fantasia is one of the biggest genre film festivals in the world. Like Tarantino has his screenings there and a lot of big films and stuff like that. So it's, you know, it would have been amazing to go to that, but it was online this year. But the crazy thing with this online thing, as I said, it's 250 to 300 people normally in a film screening. Now, when we played Macabro in Mexico and Fantaspo in Brazil, we had 4,000 people watch Fry Barry just in Brazil. And then in Mexico, we had 4,000 people in Mexico watch it. And then I think in Canada, we had about 5,000 people. So the numbers are way bigger and more people are watching it. More people are talking about it. More people are talking about it online. And that's fucking great. You know, it's actually created way more of a buzz, and our internet marketing has worked better and more and stuff like that. So it's actually done so much more justice for the movie. And it's been insane. We've been up against like big movies, which is like, you know, it's crazy. You know, you look at some of these films and it's got like this A-list star and then there's Fry Barry and you're just like, oh, it's fucking weird. You know, so it's been amazing. I think after this whole thing now, I think film festivals should actually do an online platform and a physical one, because I mean, you can't watch all the films anyway when you're there. You know, it's cool to go to a festival, but it's impossible to watch all the movies. And then some people can't even get to the festival because it's too far away or they haven't got money. So I think they will actually make more money if they have, you know, you can go to the physical or you can watch online, and they'll probably make more money with that anyway.
It's a really good way to do it. It isn't like you said, but the more people you can get to see your movie, the better. It's got to be a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, when you make a movie, the bottom line is you want people to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, like I can't believe how many people have watched it so far. It's like it's nuts. It's crazy.
And the thing is, you mentioned like the big mainstream movies. We watch like a shit ton of movies here, and there's so many, and they can be, you know, multi-million-dollar budgets through to zero budgets. And there's a lot that you watch, and then even like the next day you think, I can't really remember much about it. They've gone through it. I defy anybody not to remember anything about Fried Barry, because there's so many things. It's one of those that sticks in your head, and like days afterwards, little images and even sounds were coming into my head after watching it.
And that's the great thing about Fry Barry, because it's one of those films you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
the target market will love it. There's other people that weren't our target market that actually really liked it because they're expecting just a horror, and it's not just a horror. You know, there's a bit of horror, there's a bit of sci-fi, there's lots of comedy, there's lots of dark humor. So you either love it or you hate it. The people that love it will love it. The people that hate it will hate it. But it's great. Like even the people that don't like it, it's awesome because they're speaking about it. It's like you said now, it's a film that you cannot not talk about. You know what I mean? If somebody watches it, you will fucking speak about it, like without a doubt. And, you know, there's plenty of movies, like what you say now, that we watch. We either watch 10, 20 minutes or the whole movie and watch it and go, oh, that was shit. I'm not going to watch that again. Or you turn it off halfway and you won't even tell your friend about it because it's not worth the conversation. So the thing is with Fry Barry, even if you don't like it, you're going to talk about it. Yeah. And if you talk about it, I think it will be those other people that will listen and go, that actually sounds like my type of movie. That actually sounds really good. So it's cool that, you know, I think as filmmakers that we need to do something different. We need to shake things up a bit and do a bit of a different structure and stuff like that. And that's what I wanted to do with Fry Barry, that it's to make, you know, I set out to make a cult style movie, and it seems to be getting exactly, what I wanted. And that's it. And, if people are talking about this movie in 5 or 10 years times, then I've done my job. But as I said, the response and people say, oh, this is definitely going to be a cult classic and stuff like that. It's just like, it's fucking nuts to hear that. And people say that, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not even out yet. I mean, the guy that got the tattoo, you know what I mean? The movie's not even out yet. And he's got this tattoo. So it's amazing, So you don't put a fucking tattoo on you for nothing,
Wait until the movie's out and there's more tattoos start appearing. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like fan art. If one person is doing it and then other people do it because of that person, there's other people that are thinking about it. And it's the same with tattoos. If one person gets it, I guarantee that's not going to be the only person that ever gets it. I fucking know it won't be. So, and it's one of those people that it's like people like that will follow my work and reach out to me and, and message me and say something. And then there's all the other people that don't reach out to me, but maybe have thought to reach out to me and then don't. So that's the thing. And it's just all those collective of people that, and that's how you get a fan base. And that's how, people start, talking about your work. I mean, I'm only known as a director in South Africa, but since this festival run, I have like fans in Brazil and Mexico and Canada all messaging me going, what are you doing next? Are we going to see a Fried Barry? Are you going to work with Gary again? What's your next film? I'm excited to see what comes and what happens. And they want like a signed Blu-ray copy and all that. So it's cool and it's crazy. And it's also like, you get these people speaking about it, and then I'm like, they speak, and then I'll look in case they're mentioning like another film, but they're not. They're talking about Fried Barry. So I'm very humble, and it's very nice. And I worked fucking hard making this film, and my crew worked amazingly hard, and they're very talented. And as I said, it's not just my film. It's making movies is a collaborative thing, and I think people always forget that. And it's everybody in the crew is very important in every area, and it's a collaborative thing, and people, I think people must remember that.
Yeah, it is. Well, I look forward to talking to you again in the future. I really do, because I'm sure you have a lot incoming over the next few years. So I can't wait to see what you do. I can't wait for everybody to get to see Fried Barry and get in on the discussions about that as well. Can't wait to see more tattoos as well. I'm going to start looking online for Fried Barry tattoos once it starts showing. That's where I'm going to be looking. Yeah. So for the sake of the edit, thank you, Ryan, for coming on. It's been a great chat, and I wish you all the very best for the future, mate. I really do.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.